Morning, guys. Morning. Welcome to my messy kitchen. I tried to do a video before this and I had everything all cleaned up for you and no paint, and I hated the painting, and I decided I'm not cleaning everything out because it's so incredibly wasteful how much plastic I go through, and you guys get it. You all paint. So let's try a swipe. Things haven't been exactly working well in my kitchen lately. I go on these little splurges where one day it works, the next day it doesn't. But this morning it's going to work. So I have a whole bunch of things to say. First of all, happy Easter. Happy Easter to everybody. I hope that your weekend was wonderful and you had the opportunity to spend it with friends and family and people you love. Yeah, happy Easter. And you didn't eat too much turkey or ham. That's a big one too, hey? So for me, this would be my Saturday, and I have 5 days off. So here we go. Happy dance if you could see it. I'm going out to my mom's today with my daughter and my granddaughter for an Easter picnic. And I'm super excited because the birds are singing and the weather looks like it's going to be stunning. So we've been adhering to the rules and regulations and adhering to the social distancing. So we didn't do Christmas together as a family because my mother was a little bit uncomfortable with, not adhering to the rules. So in respect for that and for everybody, we didn't get together at Christmas, and we aren't getting together at Easter. So we are going to stay within our bubble, which was just the girls, and that's what we're doing. We're having a picnic in the backyard. That's that. And so my next thing that I want to talk about and share and say to my subscriber that was kind enough to reach out to me and tell me that Karen from Waterfall Acrylics gave me a shout out. Thank you to you for pointing that out to me, because I may have missed it. And I would have been so disappointed. I have a really busy house, guys. I work full-time in healthcare. I have my daughter and my granddaughter and her family in the basement, so I'm an active and intricate part of that. And sometimes I just get really busy, and I would have missed that. So thank you very much for messaging me and telling me that. And to Karen at Waterfall Acrylics, I have to tell you, to go onto your YouTube channel and have you talking about me was like, oh my God, Karen's talking about me. It's such a surreal feeling, because I've watched what Karen has done for quite a while now. I've been watching Karen's beautiful pieces that she does, and to go on her channel and have her talking about me is just like, oh my God. It's like so wild. So thank you very much to Karen for that shout out. I am learning along with most people, and I have learned that there's this incredible etiquette between artists, which I had absolutely no idea. And so it's really, really nice to see. So thank you very much, Karen. I definitely appreciate that shout out. Thank you for being you. You're funny and warm and kind and helpful for people, and you're willing to give up your time and help and guide people through this process. And yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so very much. Okay, back to spreading some paint around. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going to make some little swipes, guys, through this. I've learned a couple of things. Well, I've learned a lot of things, but a couple important things. Bigger's not better. Bigger's just bigger. And less is more, because you really want to stretch this out. And the more you stretch it, the better results you're going to see with your cells and lacing. It's hard to kind of hold back and not want to put lots of paint on it. And I think I've probably already put too much paint on this, although a lot of it's coming off. So yeah, those are kind of good rules to follow. Bigger's not better, and less is less is more. So this has happened to me a few times with the blooms. My white paint, for whatever reason, is making these little white dots coming through. They're not air bubbles. It's got something to, I'm sure it has something to do with environmental stimulus, because it's exactly the same paint that I've used for the last 3 or 4 days. Everything was working fine, and then all of a sudden it just starts to get weird and break up, and it happens with the blooms as well. For this particular technique, it's kind of a cool effect. I hated it with the blooms, but I don't mind it with the swipes, because we are going for sort of a lacier, more cell look. I'm not totally thrilled with composition of this piece. And we will probably re-pour. All right, so I didn't like it. Happy Easter. I hate it. So let's pour it. Let's do it. Let's go right over it. I'm not worrying about my paint, guys. I collect it all in the plastic. And like I said, I try not to be wasteful. So I collect it in the plastic. At the end of my little painting session, I scoop it up with a spatula, pour it in a cup, and then I wind up with base colors that look like this: green, gray, but I try to use as much as I can again. All right, Modern Masters Black Pearl, Payne's Gray. Let's switch colors. Let's put some, since this is Modern Masters Ruby Red. Ooh, look at that. That's very pretty. This is a little bit of Jacquard Interference. That's an Interference Blue, actually. And let's throw an opaque color in there. I'm going with yellow oxide. Sorry, guys, I was like blanking. What am I doing? All right, and black cell mix. And let's try this again. There's one swirl. I'm swiping with cards, you guys. That's another important thing, is to pick a swiping tool that works for you. I tried for the longest time to swipe with a palette knife, and I talked about this in the last video. I had a really hard time with it. It just, I don't know, it just didn't work for me. So you know what, pick tools, pick paints and products that work for you, and just, you know, stick to what works. It's much less frustrating. My granddaughter downstairs just a wailing right now. Okay, let's try this and stretch this out. Let's see if I like it better. I can't stand all these white dots, that's for sure. It's interesting how things work and don't work. Hey, I use the same recipe. I'm using the same recipe that I've used for blooms for the last at least a year, and it was the same with blooms. One day it would work, and then the next day it wouldn't work. And I I am convinced that environmental factors have to play a key, because it doesn't make sense to me. Why does it work today and it doesn't work tomorrow? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. If you follow your recipe and you don't vary off of that, there's no other reason why it shouldn't consistently work, but it doesn't. So I have decided that environmental stimulus has to have some effect on how our paints move. Whether it's the humidity in the house or just the relative temperature of the paint, it all plays a factor. Has to. Okay, so that's not so bad. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't like it. So if you're getting rid of bits like that little tiny stripe, I don't even know if you could see it on the video, put your paint ahead of what you're going to dump off. And then let the paint push it. So there was a little line here, so I put the paint above the line and I'm going to let the paint do the work. Work smarter, guys. Let the paint do it for you. I'm actually going to go right off that corner. Then we're going to pull it right back. Okay. So I'm going to leave this like this. I'm standing here not saying anything because I'm kind of reevaluating my paints. My ruby red was from a batch of paints I made a while ago, and the ruby red is lacing the way I want it to lace, not like this, which makes me kind of wonder if my paints just aren't quite mixed the way I normally have mixed them. It's always, there's so many variables, right? Is it the base or is it the cell mix? Good question. Good question. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop here and maybe just take a few minutes to play with my paints, because something's definitely not working the way I want it to work. But it's a good video. It's a good lesson learned, and maybe on my follow-up video, I will be able to come back to you with some sort of an answer. Or maybe it's just me and my composition is bad today, and that happens too. So the potential's there. We just have to do it. So I have to stop for a minute and show you guys this piece. So we talk all the time about why I paint on tiles and what do I do with my tiles, and this is not even stuck in the cradle panel. But here's the piece in a cradle panel. That's what it will look like. I resin the top of that. I've copper foiled the edges just to give it a cool look. And yeah, I pop it into one of those cradle panels, stain it, and put a D-clip picture hanger on it. And here's my piece that I also wasn't happy with because of these spots. But something's not quite right in my kitchen this morning, and I am going to go and see if I can fix that. But here's the piece that we just poured over and over. And there's some pretty things, pretty cells. I'm not happy with these, and no, they're not air bubbles. It is actually the paint reaction. Love the little black lacing. Would like to have a little bit darker. So I am going to go, guys. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to fart around with my colors. Come on, camera, back into focus. There we go. Thank you. And everybody, I want you to pour happy, stay safe, have a wonderful Easter weekend, and we'll talk really, really soon. All right, guys. Bye.